There are so many things that I wish I learned in my college Spanish classes. The first thing I wish I learned in my college Spanish classes is how to set language learning goals. Really, the only language learning goals that I had at this time, besides just trying to become fluent in Spanish, were the ones that were all tied to the particular class that I was taking. So they were all related to completing different things on the syllabus. And then as well, making sure that we passed our final exam. The LPE, or language proficiency exam, was required to pass because we needed this to be able to graduate, because we had a second language requirement for the program that I was in. So I wish my professors would have taken a few days to be able to explain this process to us, how to set our own personal language learning goals, because we're not taking these classes for no reason. But what ended up happening from my observation is that our own language learning goals were really just tossed out the window, and even the classroom specific language learning goals as well. Because I would say personally for me, I was just focusing on graduating and make sure I was passing the class. I didn't care about any of the goals that were tied to this particular class. I wish I knew the benefits of learning a new language. Again, I wish my professors could explain to the class what are some benefits of learning a new language. I think this information would have helped me a lot as a student to be able to stay motivated during my classes and to actually get passionate about learning the Spanish language, and not just trying to cram as much information as possible just so I can pass my exam and then brain dumping everything that I just learned. Also, with knowing the benefits of learning a new language, I would have been able to develop my own language learning goals, because I would have known that there was something more that I'm trying to strive for besides just a passing grade. What jobs can you have with Spanish? Now, this is something that I wish I learned a lot more of. My professors, I think they touched a little bit on this piece, but I think we could have had a lot more knowledge on this topic. For example, they could have brought in someone who had a bilingual Spanish job and then explained to us what are different requirements to be able to give us more motivation, and as well, again, more understanding of, what does the path look like? Do I need to have a minor in Spanish? Do I need to have a major in Spanish to be able to have this particular job? And then also, having a Spanish job is just one of the many benefits of learning a new language. And for me, I think that would have been very inspiring, because, we take these classes so we can graduate and get a job. How exactly do I even learn Spanish? This was such a big question for me, because I literally had no idea how to learn a new language. So we had our syllabus, we had our homework assignments, things we had to read, things we had to write, then also having a few conversations in Spanish. But what was the process to be able to do those things? What was the process, or what is the best process, the best ways to learn Spanish, and what is the best way to be able to pass my test? I had no idea. So I ended up having a lot of bad study and learning habits because I didn't have any direction. So basically, with all my homework assignments and my tests, all I did was drink a lot of Monster and then also crammed as much information as possible. And I was very surprised why this strategy wasn't very successful. And now we have the Spanish Blueprints YouTube channel, and that is all due to me studying and learning Spanish for the past 3 years on my own, and then actually figuring out what are the best ways to learn a language. How do I deal with my language learning insecurities? This may seem strange to teach in a college Spanish class, but the thing is, it's actually very important for a language learning student. For example, I was very insecure about my speaking skills. So because of this insecurity, it actually reduced my desire to even attempt to increase my speaking skills, because I thought that I wasn't capable of actually speaking Spanish properly. And then from there, it just gets worse. So if I have that mentality, I have lack of confidence in myself, then I'm not really going to be trying very hard on all of the speaking activities that we will be doing, right? And then with this lack of confidence and lack of desire to do homework assignments and things like that, then that's how a language student can have poor grades and just not care about the class at all, not care about the learning experience. Are language proficiency exams important? My answer to that after graduating was maybe. I passed my LPE exam, where I got tested on my reading, my writing, my speaking, and my listening skills in Spanish. But then, right after I graduated, I went to Mexico and I couldn't communicate whatsoever. It was absolutely terrible. Now you're going to watch a little clip of me in college, and you're going to hear how I sounded when I spoke Spanish back then.
Hola, me llamo Josh, estoy muy bien. No hay oro, pero cuando en mi prepa yo fui en track and field. Yo corrí distintos cortos, no largas.
It was so difficult for me to actually construct sentences in Spanish during this time. And I was really confused as well because I was proficient. I passed my LPE exam, I graduated from college, so I should be like an expert, I should be fluent in Spanish, but that wasn't the case at all. I felt really disappointed in myself, but also the class as well, because I was reading all the small little items that explain all the different things that I would learn and things like that, and the different language skills that I would improve upon, but it didn't seem like that actually happened. How do you speak Spanish properly? Increasing your Spanish speaking skills was not a big focus at all in my college Spanish classes. The classes were heavily focused on reading and writing. For example, my classes were about 50 minutes long, and what we would have to do is have like a 5 to 10 minute conversation with one of our classmates about the topic that we were talking about that particular day. But then that was it. I didn't have any idea of how well I spoke or what I should improve upon, but we did have some homework assignments where we had to have like a virtual conversation with our classmates. But then again, the feedback wasn't that great. It was very impersonal, and it wasn't like I was talking with my professor in person about, what are some different things that I can do to increase my speaking skills. It was just a few comments about some things that you did wrong, and that was it. Otherwise, I didn't have any strategy for increasing my speaking skills. And this is connected to the other question that I asked: how do I learn Spanish? Well, a part of learning Spanish is learning how to communicate and learning how to pronounce words and phrases correctly. I really wish they focused on how you can increase your speaking skills, because that is such a big aspect of communicating in a new language. Also, because I've had a lot of insecurities about speaking in Spanish with native Spanish speakers over the past few years. I really wish I learned how to increase my Spanish listening skills. The best strategy that I had during my classes was just to repeat an audio over and over again and try to listen very, very hard. That strategy did not work that well. And this made me very frustrated as well when I went to Mexico, because I had such a hard time understanding Spanish speakers, and I didn't understand because I took a lot of college Spanish classes. If you want to learn more about my experience studying Spanish in college, make sure that you watch this next video. Let me know in the comment section below what you wish that you learned in your college Spanish classes. Also, if you found value in this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Esto es Spanish Blueprints. Me llamo Josué. Thank you very much for watching this video, y te veo en el próximo video.